Coming up on the Monday edition of Carolina Week, the Department of Public Safety is cracking down on pedestrians, and now jaywalking comes with a price.
And then we'll look at campus reaction to a controversial cartoon.
In sports, the women's basketball team was #1 going up against Maryland, and injuries would put that ranking in jeopardy.
Plus, weathercaster Laura Pagano is here with your Carolina Week 4-day forecast.
All that and more. Carolina Week starts right now.
From the School of Journalism and Mass Communication at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, this is Carolina Week.
Tuesday's elections are the hot topic on campus. Good evening, I'm Crystal Calloway.
And I'm Shelley Basinger. Coming up, we have team coverage of the candidates.
But we start tonight with breaking news. Ross Widener joins us in the newsroom with new details about the Beta Theta Pi hazing incident we first told you about in late September. Ross?
Last month, the Beta Theta Pi fraternity pleaded guilty to charges of hazing. Up until now, exactly what happened that evening remained a mystery. But these documents obtained by Carolina Week are a look at the events of that evening and contain an admission of violent hazing in the past.
According to these documents, on the night of September 21st last year, the new members or pledges of Beta Theta Pi were lined up in front of the house's lit fireplace. Then, 5 fraternity brothers called pledge captains entered the room dressed in costumes. One was dressed as a football player and another as a clown. The documents say the brothers used the costumes to intimidate the pledges. During the ritual, the captains ask the pledges the question, "Where are you at?" The captains yell at them until the pledges answer, "Among my pledge brothers."
Enough evidence to...
Honor Court Investigative Counsel Jeff Causey.
They had made some improvements over the summer to help their new recruitment. Evidently, they hadn't fixed all their new things if they were going to be brought before the Honor Court.
And this incident isn't the first for Beta Theta Pi. In the handwritten letter from Beta Theta Pi President Kenny Thompson, he claims this year's first night hazing was tame. He writes 2 years ago the ritual involved a good deal of pushing, which he deemed as dangerous. But Thompson admits the hazing has been even worse. He writes that during his pledge period, they stood right up against the fire for a long period of time, causing burns on the back of their legs. We tried to contact Kenny Thompson in the fall for comment.
What happened here this past weekend?
No comment.
And once again, Thompson turned down our interview request for this story. A tip in this anonymous email led Director of Greek Affairs Jay Anhorn to the Beta Theta Pi house last September.
Mr. Anhorn said that they were pretty dirty. They were dirty and looked just stressed out, bloodshot eyes, and he just had this aroma of alcohol that he said they all smelled like alcohol.
Student attorney Greg Charville represented the fraternity in the case. He told the court that the alcohol smell came from beer poured on the pledges' legs to keep them cool, and the bloodshot eyes were the result of staying up too late. The chair of the Honor Court sent an email response to Carolina Week saying they could not conclusively determine that the pledges had been consuming alcohol.
The fraternity will still be allowed to pledge new members in the fall.
So what punishment did they receive, if any, Ross?
Well, they are on group honor probation through the end of spring semester in 2007, meaning they can't have social events except for one parent or alumni social event each year.
Ross Widener reporting from the newsroom. Thanks, Ross.
Publicity or public safety. On Monday, the Department of Public Safety kicked off the last phase of its campaign to keep pedestrians safe. DPS officers stationed outside of the student union issued tickets to pedestrians who cross South Road without using a crosswalk, or who cross the street against the walk signal. But the officers patrolled for only 40 minutes. How much will jaywalking cost you? The fine is only $10, but $125 in court costs pushes the total to $135.
The international uproar about editorial cartoons of the Prophet Muhammad has spilled over onto the UNC campus, following a decision by Daily Tar Heel managers to publish a cartoon of their own. In order to report the controversy without adding to it, Carolina Week will not air the image. Alex Cabe has the story.
Muslim students are angry after the Daily Tar Heel published a cartoon Thursday that featured a drawing of Muhammad, the founder of Islam. Muslim Students Association President Uzma Khan explains why Muslims find the cartoon offensive.
We do not
support any type of idolatry, and in actually drawing or depicting the prophet, it could lead to idolatry just because the prophet is revered in our religion.
The day the cartoon was published, the MSA called an emergency meeting to decide what to do about it. They wrote a letter calling the cartoon sensationalist and bigoted, and many members called for the resignation of editors at the DTH. Editor-in-Chief Ryan Tuck says he stands by the paper's decision to publish the cartoon.
The point of the newspaper is, however, to get people to talk, to challenge beliefs, to get people to sit up and notice something that maybe they don't want to, maybe something that they want to ignore.
The MSA planned to protest for this Wednesday, but some students couldn't wait.
DTH, respect religion!
They held an impromptu rally in the pit on Friday. Some students at the protest say they believe the paper was biased against Islam.
And for some reason, they keep attacking Muslims. Last semester it was Julian Bannis. This semester, it's the cartoon. Why is it that we're the only minority that's always picked on?
It's been 4 days since the cartoon was published, but it appears the controversy is far from over. In Chapel Hill, I'm Alex Cabe, Carolina Week.
The Muslim Students Association is planning another protest later in the week.
Election day is almost here. Chris Walker and Sean Maroney have live team coverage of the two student body president candidates. Let's start with Chris, who's been following Bernard Holloway's campaign. Chris?
Shelley, former TV quiz show champion. He's hoping that that experience will help him in this new challenge at UNC.
Holding signs, shaking hands, and writing letters are only a few hurdles of election season. One junior from Maryland hopes this stage of the game will provide all students with a big payoff in the end.
I just want to bring students together.
Bernard Holloway is the 2002 Teen Jeopardy champion, but he wants to be known as the next student body president. His platform covers a wide variety of issues summed up in one statement.
Your campaign slogan is "We can make it better." What exactly is it? We can make the university better. I think it is everything that impacts our lives here in Chapel Hill.
His goals include online GPS tracking systems for the P2P and bigger homecoming celebrations. But even with celebrations, voters want to know where he stands on tuition increases.
In my opinion, the recent dramatic increases in out-of-state tuition has made it so that talented and bright students choose to not come to Carolina simply because of price, and that's unacceptable.
Holloway says yearly tuition hikes will likely affect students like him, out-of-state minorities.
I think it's a crime if we are going to work to get our tuition to the 75th percentile of our peers if it makes our student body dumber, richer, and whiter.
Now, Holloway thinks his Jeopardy days will come in handy as president, Shelley. He says the experience taught him to focus on the important issues.
Thanks, Chris. Sean Maroney joins us now with a look at James Allred's campaign, which is using the slogan, "Allred is for all of us." Sean?
That's right, Shelley. James Allred's not your typical politician.
Labs on campus like this one are a little emptier than usual. The reason?
How'd it go?
Great. Rising senior James Allred is putting on hold his chemistry major for a more political science.
James Allred, the chemist, much more nose buried in the book.
But that Allred is on hiatus as this student body president hopeful campaigns to distinguish himself from the current administration.
I'm concerned that they're focused on visibility only for visibility's own sake.
Allred says he wants his administration's visibility to be in his results.
When you go to advising, or you go to reserve a room, or you go to student health, and you find the process is easier, that's how student government will be visible.
But does Allred think he can stand up to the campus administration?
I've been criticizing this administration since I was 3 years old, arguably.
That's because his father is an assistant to the provost, and Allred says they're not the only ones with a great working relationship.
I've also forged a really positive working relationship with members of the administration, and this means that when I come to the administration and tell them that something's a problem, they take me at my word, they trust me, and they act on what the problem is.
One of those problems is tuition, and you can't escape it here on campus. Allred's platform calls for tuition to be raised in 5-year blocks, 5 years in advance. This way, students incoming to college will be able to know how much they'll be paying their entire career. Shelley?
Thanks, Sean. And remember, you can tune into Carolina Week for live election coverage Tuesday night at 10 to see who will be the university's next student body president.
SVP candidates aren't the only ones who've been campaigning. The 3 teams running for senior class president and vice president have also been hard at work. Senior class presidential candidate Doug Weiss is hoping to get juniors to feel the love and vote for him Tuesday. Weiss's platform includes discounts for seniors in more than 10 businesses on Franklin Street. The Black Student Movement and the Carolina Hispanic Association are among the organizations that endorsed Weiss and running mate Jewel McDonald. Weiss says if he's voted in, he'll make changes in the senior marshals selection process, such as working closely with campus organization leaders to make the picks.
We feel like they'd be able to tell us who would be great marshals much better than we'd be able to tell from just an application. I mean, they know these people a lot better than we could ever find out in a couple weeks.
Their campaigners plugged their platform, but it was senior class president candidate Jonathan Friedman who really broke it down. Friedman and running mate Barry Turner came out in the pit Friday to promote some of their goals for next year: improved career services for seniors, campus safety for women, and a senior social action program to benefit charities. Friedman says their time in the pit was fun and informative.
We just wanted to get out there and bring attention to ourselves on our terms and show people that, you know, we like to have fun, but at the same time we're handing out information about the Heifer Project, letting people know about the substance behind our campaign.
The Meg Peterson and Eric Schmidt ticket features a ticket of its own. The duo is showcasing an all-inclusive package for the class of '07. They want to create an online forum where seniors will have a say in how the class gift and graduation speaker are chosen. The package also includes a senior disorientation. Similar to freshman orientation, its purpose is to prepare seniors for the future.
In the fall, making sure that people have their jobs lined up, or they know what they want to do. And then in the spring, we want to make sure that people get help on relocation information, personal financing, just general info to make sure that everyone's ready for the real world.
We'll have the live election results Tuesday night starting at 10.
I-21.
Shelly, either your grammar is really terrible or we're talking about bingo. Find out what kind of bingo coming up.
Protect yourself from mannequinism. Volunteer, vote, stay informed. It's easy to get involved.
I just dropped 32 pounds this year, and boy, do I feel better.
Drop it. See how good it feels.
Sometimes life is a drag, but that's just what bingo players came to the Durham Armory for on Saturday. Drag Bingo is a wild fundraiser sponsored each month by the Alliance of AIDS Services Carolina, and it's run by some colorful characters. The number caller is Mary Kmart, and the floor attendants are drag performers like Sierra Nevada, who entertain the audience between games. They do actually play bingo, but not until all the participants raise their markers and pledge to play until the AIDS crisis ends. Tracy Mosier thinks it's a great way to spend a night out.
People go out and spend money anyway. It might as well be for a good cause. You get to have a good community and good friends and a good time. So it's pretty much a win-win for everybody.
100% of the proceeds from Drag Bingo go to support AIDS patients in North Carolina.
Some UNC students got some exercise this weekend at the annual Zeta Tau Alpha Franklin 5K. The race began here at University Square near Granville Towers. Zeta holds this race every year to help benefit breast cancer research. Everyone has had his or her own reasons to run, whether it was to train for future races or to help find a cure for cancer.
So my grandma died of breast cancer, so I'm here to support breast cancer research and also come out and have a good time.
Despite the cold and rain, more than 400 runners came out to participate in the event.
Running a 5K seems hard enough. Add in the weather, I think we're asking for trouble.
Definitely. It was really rainy this weekend. Weathercaster Laura Pagano is here with us in the studio. It's actually her first broadcast with us. So
It's great to be here.
wonderful. Well, I know it was rainy this weekend, and it was not only rainy, it was very, very cold.
It was very cold. And people have been bundled up for the past few days because the temperature has really felt like winter. Are there snowballs or sun rays in the future?
If you're not recycling, you're throwing it all away.
Don't walk. Don't walk. Walk. Do not enter. Hot dogs. Definitely like hot dogs. Motorcycle club. Everything must go. Ghostly ghouls. Don't look at that, Teddy. Body piercing. Ouch.
Everyday moments can become teaching moments because learning starts long before school does. Give your child the start they need at bornlearning.org.
$50 invested in a mutual fund 20 years ago returned $452. $50 in the United Negro College Fund returned an award-winning actor. A mind is a terrible thing to waste.
Hi, and welcome back to Carolina Week. I'm weather forecaster Laura Pagano. As you may remember, we did have a soggy and cool weekend, but don't worry, temperatures are going to be on the increase, and we do have sunny skies, but showers are possible for Friday. As we take a look at the satellite image, we can see that we do have a low pressure system here and around Michigan, which is producing some snow showers around the Great Lakes. And in New England, we do have some snow showers lingering from that nor'easter that just passed by. But as for the south, we are looking into beautiful conditions here. And as we zoom in, we will see that we do have some high clouds around this area, but otherwise we have beautiful conditions dominating for most of the week. So we take a look at the radar. This also indicates we do have some snow showers in West Virginia and Kentucky, but nothing for us to worry about. It's going to be beautiful conditions. They should worry down in Florida. There will be some frost in that area, but for us, it is going to be fairly nice. If we take a look at the surface map, we do, like I said, we do have a low pressure front here, but it's not packing too much of a punch here, so we shouldn't see anything in the way of snowfall. I hate to say it. But for New York, there's some lingering showers like I mentioned before. And as we take a look to the west, we can see a high pressure system dominating, and the Four Corners region is going through terrible drought. They do need some precipitation. If we take a look at the 4-day forecast, we do see that Tuesday, for your Valentine's Day, if you're heading out Tuesday night, you might want to bring a coat, but the high is going to be around 57 and the low is going to be around the freezing condition. And for Wednesday and Thursday, beautiful conditions, high in the low 60s. And for Friday, you may want to bring the umbrella out because there might be some showers in the region. So other than that, it's going to be beautiful conditions for most of the week, and I would just head outdoors if I could.
Wonderful. Well, thanks, Laura.
Thanks, Laura.
Well, I was really ready for it to clear up this weekend, but I think I was more ready for the big win we had on Sunday.
Definitely. Sportscaster Michael Crow joins us now. And Michael, after that loss to Duke, that much-needed win over Miami really did the trick.
Yeah, the team traveled down to Miami, and they showed that they could still play and get over that hangover from the Duke game. So Miami rocked the Heels at home last time these two teams met. But would the boys in blue bring a hurricane of their own to Miami?
I wonder how Silent Sam feels about guarding the university from groups of third-grade kids. Maybe he's lost interest. We haven't heard his rifle fire recently. Still he stands, a steadfast defender of something. What is it? No one knows the real Carolina like a student. Carolina Week, the student news show.
Welcome to Carolina Week Sports. I'm Michael Crow. Let's get right into it. Ever since the women's basketball team took over the #1 ranking in the nation, a bullseye has been on their back. The upside-minded Maryland Terrapins came into Carmichael on Thursday. Sports reporter Whit Walker has more.
It was a physical game from the start, and UNC led for most of the game, despite the loss of backup point guard Alex Miller, whose neck injury caused the crowd to hold its collective breath.
A hard game in many, many ways. Extremely physical.
Latangela Atkinson was also hurt during the game and forced to sit on the bench. Camille Little's 24 points helped the Heels compensate for the loss and keep Maryland at bay. But the Terps battled back from a 14-point deficit in the last 12 minutes to give them an opportunity to tie the Heels on this last-second shot. Erlana Larkins went down on the play and was forced to sit out for the overtime period. In overtime, the Terps had their mojo going and were in the lead coming into the final 30 seconds when the Heels had a chance to tie the game with a 3.
It's over with and let it go and learn for the next game.
Camille, what do you think's mood of the team is right now? Locker room.
I don't even know to say that question.
In Chapel Hill, I'm Whit Walker, Carolina Week.
After losing their first game of the year, the Heels took out their aggression against UVA 3 days later. Ivory Latta threw in 18 points and added 4 assists, and Camille Little added 17 points, 4 assists, and 4 blocks. Carolina won by 12. Their undefeated streak might be over, but the women's basketball team has hit another landmark. UNC students lined up for the first ever women's basketball distribution Monday morning. The CAA started the new movement because of increasing interest in the women's winning season. This distribution will yield Duke tickets for some lucky Tar Heels. The Tobacco Road Brawl goes down on February 25th in Carmichael Auditorium. Well, the Tar Heels headed south to Miami Sunday night to battle it out with the Hurricanes. The Heels stormed out of the gate with an 8-0 lead in the first 2 minutes. Center Tyler Hansbrough scored 16 of his 25 points in the first half. Forward Rayshon Terry also reached double figures before halftime. The second half was with tight back and forth play before the Heels took control on a 13-2 run with 3-pointers from Bobby Frazier, Wes Miller, and David Noel. The Heels weathered the Canes, winning 80-70. Well, the men's tennis team is off to its best start since 1973. With a 9-match winning streak, the Tar Heels defeated UNCW Saturday afternoon. Senior Ryan Lucici teamed up with freshman Taylor Fogelman to win with this impressive overhead shot. Lenny Golan and David Stone defended their side of the court to edge out their opponents 8-6. In singles, senior Ali Mandor's opponent barely kept the ball in play, and he won in a shutout. Lucici pounded forehand returns to hold on to his number 5 ranking. On Sunday, the 11th-ranked women's tennis team fell to 23rd-ranked Notre Dame. Carolina's lone bright spot in the 5-2 loss came in 8-3 doubles upset by Sarah Anundsen and Jenna Long against the nation's doubles duo, twin sisters Katrina and Christian Thompson. The rest of the UNC effort wasn't stellar. North Carolina fell in its other 2 doubles matches. Anundsen notched lone singles wins for the Tar Heels, who are now 7-2 on the year. In lacrosse, the 14th-ranked men played 2 impressive preseason games Saturday against 24th-ranked Rutgers in Washington and Lee. The Heels D came out strong against Rutgers, with junior goalkeeper Trey Shane allowing only 1 save in the first 50 minutes. Save after save, he led Carolina along with leading scorers Ryan Blair and Bart Wagner. Wagner, making his Division I debut, says despite the rain, he felt good about his team's play.
It's going well. You know, the only thing that's not going well is the weather for us. That's unfortunate, but I think it's going well. And today was the first game against a Division I team, and I thought it went really well. I mean, the score showed it, so I don't know. We'll see next week for our first game.
Not only did the Heels dominate play against Rutgers, but many freshmen and bench players had the chance to impress head coach John Haas during a less competitive game against WNL. Saturday's game proved to be intense and high scoring for the Tar Heels. They opened up their season next Saturday against number 21 Ohio State. The UNC track and field team hosted the Carolina Invitational Friday. On your mark, get set, go. 14 teams participated in the event, and the Tar Heels earned more than a dozen top 3 finishes. Carolina used fancy footwork like this and twisting technique like this shot put to dominate the event. And check out this high-flying vaulting. I think he earned some frequent flyer miles on that one. The team travels to Blacksburg for Virginia Tech Challenge on Friday. The conference championship is at the end of the month. After fighting to squeak out a 16-16 tie against rival NC State at home earlier in the season, the wrestling team traveled to Raleigh for the final ACC match of the season. Led by Spencer Nadolski, who leads the team with a 37-4 record, the Heels toppled the Wolfpack 20-16 to avenge the disappointment of their earlier tie. Well, with the win, Tyler Hansbrough had a huge game. He was named ACC Rookie of the Week again. That's the 7th time this season he's been named that. He's pretty impressive.
That is impressive. Yeah. Thanks, Michael.
Yeah.
There's more to campus elections than campaigning and endorsements.
That's right. There's also their public image to think about.
Coming up, we'll take a look at an SVP candidate's response to some hard-hitting questions.
There's a vacation village near Orlando that's unlike any other. It's called Give Kids the World. It brings a week of joy to children with life-threatening illnesses, and it's absolutely free for their families. Call Give Kids the World or log on, and please, help give them a time to remember.
If you have a story idea, contact Carolina Week at 843-8292. You can also visit us online at carolinaweek.org. If you have questions about this program, write Carolina Week at Campus Box 3365, UNCCH, Chapel Hill, North Carolina, 27599.
You know, Crystal, SVP is a very big job.
But there's always time to have a little fun. Carolina Week's Brandon Curry takes a tongue-in-cheek approach with Bernard Holloway.
Bernard Holloway, really appreciate you sitting down with me. What is that intoxicating aroma?
I'm wearing some shea buttercream.
Okay, I want to just nibble on you because you smell. Can I smell you real quick?
Yeah.
That's nice. I mean, that's really good. On a hot day, when you start to sweat, I bet you smell delicious. You've said, as president, you'd assemble groups of students to remind teachers of textbook request deadlines and lobby them to use bundled course materials. Why haven't you done that already?
Because I haven't had 40 people around campus at my disposal.
Now, how many people do you have working on your campaign?
At least 40 people.
So did I just nail you? Did you just get nailed? Oh man, I am a great journalist. Bernard, thanks a lot. I really appreciate the time. Good luck.
To see more of Brandon's unique storytelling style, we invite you to watch our live elections coverage Tuesday night from Carol 111.
Those of you watching live right now in Chapel Hill will have a debate between the SVP candidates coming up soon, in just a minute.
Yes, we will. And on Wednesday, we'll also have the follow-up coverage from the elections.
Definitely. You know, it was really good to see the candidates, I guess, a little bit out of their element. I guess I've seen them at forums a couple times, and they're very stiff, and it was just good to see Bernard just laughing and having a good time.
And now I want to see Allred get a chance to do that, and hopefully we'll get to in that debate.
Good to see that tomorrow. Well, that does it for this edition of Carolina Week.
Thanks for watching. Good night.